not all moments in your business need to be curated. There's nothing quite like being candid and direct and spontaneous and genuine and really showing up as yourself as much as you possibly can. Welcome to the Master Your Business podcast, where we bring you the best in branding, marketing, and customer experience strategies. I'm Deirdre Martin, your host. And if you've been asking yourself how to level up your growing business, your marketing, your customer experience, or how to make more of an impact with your brand, this show is for you. You'll discover actionable tips and insights to help businesses just like yours gain clarity and illuminate the path to success. Train with industry experts, learn sales and marketing strategies, business and mindset hacks, and be inspired by authentic entrepreneurship stories. As your host, I share the no-nonsense advice that accelerated my journey from boring bank manager to industry thought leader in marketing and customer experience. Learn how I made the leap into the world of six-figure success, digital courses, keynote speaking, and co-authoring a #1 bestseller in just 1 year. Together with interviews from industry experts, this show ensures you're seen, heard, and hired by your ideal clients. Join our growing community of subscribers and let the Master Your Business podcast empower you to tackle your most significant challenges on your path to business success. Don't miss out. It's your turn to learn from the best and master your dream business. Hello, amazing listeners. I'm Deirdre Martin, and I'm absolutely thrilled you're joining me for another episode of the Master Your Business podcast. If you've been loving the content, and I really hope you have, do me a solid. Hit that subscribe button and please take a moment to rate and review the show. It truly makes a difference. Today, we're delving into a topic I know so many of you have wondered about, maybe even hesitated to embrace, something that might feel a little bit unfamiliar to some in the professional arena. Sharing photos of yourself, right? Especially in the form of, yes, you guessed it, selfies. So we will talk about the art of the selfie and its place in your business. Now, I hear you asking, Deirdre, what place, if any, do selfies have in the professional world? Well, let's dive in. First off, why should you, as a professional service provider, even bother sharing any type of a photograph of yourself? It's simple. In this online digital age, people are still really craving connection. And by sharing a photo, you're not just showing off a look. You're not showing off your fancy stuff, or it's not about materialistic stuff. You're actually allowing potential clients, colleagues, and collaborators to connect with you on a much more personal level. So if you're still wondering why should a professional like yourself even consider a selfie or a personal photograph? The answer is twofold: your personal brand and your company brand. On the personal brand front, a selfie adds a touch of authenticity. Your clients, your colleagues, and those potential collaborators, they get a glimpse into who you are beyond your title and your qualifications. And trust me, again, in that automation and all that stuff that's going on online, that personal touch really is invaluable. And from your company brand perspective, it humanizes the entity. While logos and purpose, vision, mission statements, all those things are vital, people want to know the face driving the vision. So think about this on your Google Analytics when you're checking out which pages have been visited by your website visitors, your website traffic. Where is it popular? It's the About page, right? After your services, it's the About page. And the reason being is people want to see the face behind the business. So for a company brand, a well-timed, appropriate placed selfie, that can demystify your company and make it way more human and relatable. Now, if you still don't believe me, well, listen back to episode 14 on the show. It's all about how to create brand photos that speak volumes. And it featured an amazing guest, somebody who I really love. and that's professional brand photographer Eva Blake. Eva gave incredible tips and suggestions to help people who are considering some professional shots for their brand. And if you're in the market for professional brand photography, she's one of the ones on my list of recommendations. But Eva gave incredible reasons as to why you should show your face more. And here's the thing, there's actually a science behind this. Seriously, there's actually a science behind this. Studies show that people tend to trust and feel more connected to someone when they can see their face. Think about it. Your services, they're way more than just transactional. They're deeply personal. And when your clients choose you, they're choosing you not just for your expertise, but because they feel a rapport, and they might be trusting you with the ins and outs of their personal lives, their relationships, or their finances, or a litany of other things. And so, this is why photos, especially selfies, can give that added layer of trust. So, I'm going to share with you about my selfie journey, right? And I mean, I really used to shy away from the spotlight in terms of photographs. I take photographs, right? I enjoy taking photographs. I always had a really good camera, not aside from my phone. So, in terms of photographs for me, it has been a journey. And as you know, starting a business is a journey in itself, but there's a subplot to my own story that some of you might find surprising. And I have talked about it on social media, and that's my own selfie odyssey, for a wonderful way of describing it. Before diving into the entrepreneurial world, my digital presence on social media or everywhere else was more of a shadow than a spotlight. If I showed up, I was posting things where usually my face was never to be seen, and I rarely engaged on social media at all. So the thought of sharing personal pictures, especially selfies, was as foreign to me as speaking another language. And even though I can speak other languages, this was one that I'd never heard of, let's just say. So, yet, as my business began to grow, so did my understanding of the pivotal role that personal photos have in terms of building a personal brand. And in the early days, I went all out. Within a span of about 18 months or so, I had participated in not one, not two, but three professional brand photo shoots. Seriously. And my logic is, if I had to showcase myself, or this is where I was thinking at the time, if I had to showcase myself, it would be with polished perfection. And part of it was why I had the first one was, yes, I wanted that polished perfection. Why I had the second one was because I had that COVID hairstyle in that first one. My hair was way longer than usually it is. And so I didn't feel I could use them then once I got my hair cut. It just didn't feel authentic. And as my journey progressed, I realized that there were more types of moments or situations or stories or contexts even, where those sleek professional photos, they felt just a little bit too perfect and too polished and too staged and too inauthentic. And so I had this kind of like epiphany. It's where that not all moments in your business need to be curated. There's nothing quite like being candid and direct and spontaneous and genuine and really showing up as yourself as much as you possibly can. And these are the moments that often resonate the most with our audience. It's those blips that we have, or, having a spot on your face when the picture is taken and not having it airbrushed out and all that sort of stuff. And so I began my tryst with selfies, and I won't pretend it was easy. It really isn't. To this day, it's still not easy. And the initial posts that I put out, where they were accompanied by a cringe, a second guess, and a hesitating finger over that post button. But each time I shared them, I began to see the value of authenticity, of letting people into that raw, kind of unfiltered moments of my business and my professional life. And what's incredible, I would think, in terms of doing this, is that the engagement on my posts shot up the more I stopped using graphics in my content. And, I used to spend hours and hours creating graphics, carousel posts and infographics and all that sort of stuff and providing incredible value. But actually, in my caption, now I share that value in a longer form caption, but with a selfie. And it's far less time to take that selfie photograph than it is to create that graphic and write that long form caption. And so today, while I still cherish and I do use my professional photos, I'm also a regular selfie poster. And honest to God, like each one is a testament to my evolution, both as a businesswoman and as an individual, kind of coming out of my corporate identity that I had when I worked in banking. It's been a journey. It's still a journey. I still cringe. I still hesitate over that button, whether I press it or not. And so, yeah, like it's a coming to terms with the power of that vulnerability and authenticity. It's been a journey. And so, what I'd say for you listening, if you can resonate with any of that, this is a little gentle reminder that sometimes those imperfections, they really create the most genuine connections. Now, I'm not going to lie, I did research about how you can take a good selfie, right? Because some of the ones that I was taking, they were just terrible. And that was kind of what made me take 100 pictures and then get really self-critical. And so I want to share some of those tips with you and tell you, like, it is about a little bit more than just flipping the camera and snapping right away. If you're going to take the leap, you may as well try and ace this whole selfie thing. So, and especially if you don't want to look like too much of an idiot. So I hope I don't anyway. You can let me know. I'm sure you will. Well, here's the first tip. It's called the rule of thirds. Now, some of these I was aware of because I was snapping pictures before with my camera of my family, but this one is one that I picked up. I wasn't aware of this. And I think even may have mentioned this in the previous episode. I'm not sure, but here's what I want you to do. I want you to imagine that your screen is divided into 9 equal rectangles. Okay. And that basically means there's 3 rectangles on your screen. And what you're going to do is position the most important elements of your selfie, like your eyes, along these lines or at their intersections. And this makes your images visually engaging and gives your photo a professional touch. So if you have a smartphone, an iPhone or Android, you can literally add the grid to your screen and make it even easier to do this. So you can definitely do it on Apple. I'm sure you can do it on Android as well. So check out the features and settings on your smartphone. The next thing to consider is lighting. Lighting is everything for photos, and to make them look good, natural light works wonders. So I suggest stand facing a window. When the sun is blazing in, don't take the picture then. It's really harsh. It's going to create some harsh shadows as well. And something in terms of lighting to add to this for the ladies out there who wear your makeup or do your hair in the morning. I do my hair and my makeup every morning, first thing before I start work. It just makes me feel ready for the day. But if I'm going to take a picture, that's when the lighting is also really nice and my hair and makeup is fresh. So it makes it easier to take the picture. So if you're having a good hair day or your makeup has turned out really well, take those pictures in the morning. And yeah, if they look good, then you're going to feel good as well because you're like, hey, you actually look kind of okay today. Okay. And maybe you look amazing every day, but this is my inner critic going nuts when I'm taking these pictures and how I feel. So there you go. I'm being incredibly vulnerable right now. Okay, the next thing is you're kind of almost ready to click the button and take the pictures. You need to find your angle. So don't go for straight on, head on in the camera all of the time. Maybe give your head a slight tilt or put your chin down a tad. Experiment. Try to find what feels most like you. And another tip I found is that if you look slightly up with your chin tilted up, if you've got big circles under your eyes, like I usually do, that helps too. It just helps with the angle and makes them look better. So that's been my angle. If you're looking at my selfies now, you know my secret angle. Okay. And there have been times where I've been tired and I've been trying to take selfies, but you know what? I can see when I'm smiling at the camera that smile doesn't quite reach my eyes. So I actually scrapped them. And it could be I woke up tired, or maybe I don't take pictures until the afternoon and I've had a long day, whatever it might be. So, what I would say here is, and why I'm sharing this with you, is it's important to be genuine, that this is about connection. So, you do need to be yourself. You need to smile naturally and let your genuine personality absolutely shine through. And so when you're smiling, the ones where the smile reaches your eyes, those photos are going to be better and they're going to have a bigger impact. So make sure that your smile reaches your eyes when you're taking pictures like that. The last tip here is your background matters. Go for a tidy, non distracting background. And if you're in your office, great, but make sure it looks professional and organized. This could be the first impression you make on someone, so make it a good one. Now, I know some of you are listening and you're incredibly tech savvy, and or maybe some of you are looking to elevate your selfie game. You might be doing it already. So there are some tools and apps that you can use. And the first thing I'd say is consider using a ring light. You can get really tall ones in on Amazon for like really, really good value, $20 or thereabouts. And what I would suggest with the ring light is if you get the tall ones, they're helpful because you can carry them around with you and you can take full length pictures then with the ring light by just sticking your phone. Your smartphone is all you need for this, by the way. So you can just stick your smartphone onto the ring light and literally stand back. You can sit down, you can angle it. There's all sorts of different ways you can use it. So not only does it help for more flattering lighting, but also just for adjusting your position or angle or where you're going to take the picture. So it's not in the exact same spot every single time. Now, I'm an iPhone person, so I can't speak to Android, but what I can say is there's a mode on an iPhone, which is probably something similar available on Android. It's called portrait mode. So if I'm taking those kind of headshot pictures, those headshot selfies, I'll always use portrait mode. And it's got this feature called studio or studio lighting effect or something it's called. And that's literally all I use for my photos. I don't edit them beyond that. That's literally it. Nothing else. There's no autocorrect or color feature, anything like that. That studio lighting, it's amazing. And especially if you've taken the picture in that natural light, that's all you need, I promise. Otherwise, if you don't have feature like that in Android, what I would suggest is there's apps like Snapseed or Facetune, and they're really good for editing and enhancing. But again, let me just come back to what's important with all of this: moderation. Keep it genuine. If you actually meet the client in person, you want them to recognize you. So don't go nuts with airbrushing on it. It's just going to look inauthentic as well. Right. Let's circle back a minute or two to talking about your business and your brand and where exactly should these selfies actually go. So, for your personal brand, think about your about page on your website. Perfect spot. On your LinkedIn. Absolutely. That's your professional face to the world, or Instagram, Facebook, wherever you show up. And if it's an introductory email to a client, a new client, or a thank you note after a meeting, it can be a lovely, lovely, lovely touch to show your face and make things more memorable and personable. For a company page, consider the meet the team section of your website or company newsletters and that sort of place. But overall, what I really wanted to take away with this whole selfie thing is don't overdo it either. The goal is to create connection, not to come across as self centered. So be somewhat judicious. Think about what's going to serve your clients or your colleagues best. And in the world of professional services, just remember that that small personal touch, that's often the very thing that sets you apart and can win you a very big client. So sharing a thoughtful, well composed photo of yourself, that can be one of those touches. It doesn't have to be anything more dramatic than that. And that's it, folks. My fantastic listeners, thank you. That's a wrap for today. Remember that showing up authentically and letting people see the real you can work wonders for your professional relationships. And if you have a selfie story, let's hear it. What's been your favorite selfie moment in your professional journey? Let me know. Share it with us. And you can reach me on LinkedIn or Instagram, Facebook, you name it. But once again, if you have enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, rate, and review. It truly helps the show reach more listeners like you. Until next time, keep mastering your business.